This is Michael Orrell of MobileBurn.com and AndroidAuthority.com, and I have with me right now the Motorola DROID X from Verizon Wireless. It was just announced yesterday. It's going to go on sale on July 15th for $199.99 after a $100 rebate. Requires a $29.99 per month smartphone data plan, and if you choose to use the Wi-Fi sharing hotspot feature, that'll run you an additional $20 per month. And this is the update, I guess you could call it, the successor of the Motorola DROID, one of the Verizon's very successful Android handsets. Except this one has a much larger screen, a 4.3-inch display. It has the same 854 by 480 resolution as the DROID, but lacks the slide-out keyboard. So you get a really large display, but you lose the keyboard. Also some other changes though. We have all hardware buttons down at the bottom for search, back, home, and menu. You've got a new 8-megapixel camera here with dual LED flash, and it records 720p HD video, which is really nice. Very thin device, 9.9 millimeters I believe. We've got an HDMI output port right here, as well as the micro USB. One of the cool things that Motorola has done with the design is they've put 3 microphones in it. You can see the main microphone right down here at the base for talking. It's a rear-facing microphone for video recording, and then there is a third microphone up here next to the 3.5mm headphone jack that's used for filtering out ambient noise. And of course, next to the headphone jack we have a power button and a lock button. Turns off the display, as you can see. Swipe gesture to unlock it. Really nice display. This device does run pretty hot though. I'm not sure if that's due to the radio, the 3G radio, or to the display itself, but one of the things you'll notice on this phone is it's got a lot of new widgets. Motorola is saying officially it's not a Moto Blur device, but the widgets are very much Moto Blur based, and we'll take a look at some of those. Here we have the Motorola DROID X next to the LG Ally that's also available from Verizon Wireless, and while the DROID X is quite thin compared to the Ally, you can just see it's so much larger physically in terms of just screen real estate and overall bulk. So let's take a look at the home screens. There are 7 of them. And you'll notice as I move left and right, the little indicators down at the bottom of the screen, which you can also tap to immediately move to a particular home screen, which is kind of nice. All new widgets. They look very different from the Moto Blur stuff we've seen, but the functionality is very much the same. You can see we can tap on this, and we're going basically through happenings as you would see on a Motorola Click or Click XT, which is very nice. One of the things that has changed though is the new ability to dynamically resize the widgets, which is really cool. So you have a lot more flexibility in terms of how you're going to present this information. I can resize this calendar over here to fill in the space, and very slickly done. And they all have a nice look. There's nice shading borders on them. Really well done. There's also some new things like this sticky note widget that Motorola threw in there. The DROID X will initially ship with Android 2.1. 2.2 Froyo update is due out in the coming months during the summer. You can see we've got live wallpapers. You'll notice the background image, the DROID Eye, moves every once in a while. Here we have 2 of Motorola's widgets. One's a calendar widget. You can see what's on your calendar for the day. And I have a messaging widget down here. You can see Jack Black, who I'm having lunch with, says he's going to be late and he's sorry about that. So we can tap on that and bring up the full threaded conversation. And once we've read it, it no longer shows up as a new message. And again, just like with prior Android devices, you can long press and drag things to delete them. And if you long press these Motorola widgets, you can, of course, resize them. Perhaps my favorite new widgets though from Motorola are all these contact widgets. And because of all the variable sizes, you can have it do all sorts of things. You can have a single button that goes right to a text message, or maybe right to an email message, or you can have different configurations of buttons here that allow you to do all sorts of things. Say we want to text Jack, we can do that just by tapping here. Now it comes with 2 keyboards on the DROID X. This is swipe here, so this is swipe. But we also have an option for a more traditional keyboard, with autocorrection, of course. And it supports multi-touch, which means you can hold down a shift key while pressing another letter, which is kind of cool. And of course you can just send off the message. And as on other recent Android devices, there's also speech-to-text capability. Hey Jack, it's okay, don't worry about lunch. You access the main menu by tapping down here at the bottom of the screen. And you'll notice that it loses the 3D scrolling effect that we've seen in other Android 2.1 devices. But otherwise it's the same, alphabetic list of icons. Very easy to scroll. So that wraps up part one of our look at the Motorola DROID X. We'll dive deeper into the camera and other functionality like email and things like that in part two. I'm Michael Orrell from MobileBurn.com and AndroidAuthority.com.